Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential race and nobody has seen him. Like, where is the president? Also, United States Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle, she resigns as she should. If you saw any part of her just pathetic testimony before Congress, there's so much news to get into. Let's just go ahead and get started. Thank you for watching another episode of the Quisha King Show. Let's talk about it. As you all know, the current president has dropped out of the presidential race. And the funny thing about that, he told the American people about his departure from running for president of the United States through an X post, okay? An X post. And we haven't seen him. Like, where is Joe Biden? Now there are reports that the man has had a stroke. He was supposed to be speaking in Las Vegas, Nevada, where, talking about his presidential run. And mind you, Joe Biden has been very adamant that he is not getting out of the race. I don't want to put on my conspiracy theory hat, but I will if I have to. Like, I totally don't mind, because we have just been lied to so many times by the media. We have been, bamboozled so many times for decades by the Democrat Party, just them, telling us that they believe in certain things that they really don't believe in, because I'm the kind of woman that I look at what you do, your actions, not just what you say. So when we look at the Democrat Party and their actions, when we look at the mainstream media and their actions or the things that they say, and we later find out that they're lying, I mean, none of these two organizations, these two groups of people, these two industries have not been very trustworthy. So what some may call conspiracy theorists, I just call me thinking. That's it. I'm just thinking. That's all I'm doing. And we haven't seen Joe Biden. He drops out from the race that he has been adamant that he's not going to drop out of by an X post. And now he supposedly had a stroke, which the White House is not telling us this. I mean, where is Karine Jean-Pierre? Where is she with her? Where is the press secretary to tell the American people what is really going on? We have heard nothing. On top of all of that, we have the former president being shot, and the Secret Service director not being able to answer literally anything. She went before Congress and was not able to give one answer to any of the questions in her 9 days of investigation. Now, I don't know about you, but that would be a problem for me, because this is the department that's supposed to be protecting the current president, former president, Congress members, and all other types of people. So it's just unacceptable. It was absolutely pathetic if we are to believe all of these things are just kind of happening willy-nilly. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. So I'm going to take us back through a timeline. Go with me here. We're going to start at the first presidential debate, where it's, I believe, the first time in history where we have had a presidential debate where the nominees have not even officially been selected, okay? So that's where all of this started. Now, the Democrats and the mainstream media, who I believe are kind of acting one and the same, have been very secretive about Joe Biden's cognitive state. But all of a sudden, we've had 3.5 years, almost 4 years of anybody who's been paying attention knowing that Joe Biden was not cognitively there. And he has been on a steep decline for the last 3.5 years. But miraculously, they let all of this be displayed before the American people at this debate. Now, I don't think that the Democrats do much that is not planned and organized and, in some controlled, or they are very much an organized group of people. So for them to let the cat out of the bag with no media jumping on board to try to clean up this mess, I knew instantly something was off. So they let Joe Biden appear before the American people and completely make a disaster out of this debate. I mean, it wasn't really a shock to me. That's how I see Joe Biden. He didn't do anything that I hadn't seen him do, but to many people, they were like, oh, gasp, I've never seen him like this before. Well, I mean, okay. Start watching some other news and you will see that Joe Biden has long been not well. So that was the first thing that sent my conspiracy theorist antennas, made them perk up. And so I took that and I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. Then the second thing was that the media was throwing Joe Biden completely under the bus. Looking at him being thrown under the bus, rolling the bus back over him again. It was like, Jake Tapper, NBC, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, all of the major left-leaning news outlets, which is pretty much all of them, were just like, oh my gosh, he cannot run. We have to do something. This is a problem. He's in decline. It's like, okay, well, he's been in decline, but this is the first time that we saw the media actually want to acknowledge that he was in decline. That was antenna perk up number 2. Then Joe Biden, then he says he's getting a push from his own party to drop out of the race. And they're going hard. George Clooney writes a letter. We know Barack Obama, well, it's being reported that he was kind of helping to encourage some of these people to come out and say, okay, Joe, it's time for you to go. Pretty much everybody was on board. Then all of a sudden, the former president, Donald Trump, has an attack on his life. And the FBI, who we know, they've gone after parents, me included. They have gone after, pro-life activists, people who want to pray. They have gone after the FBI has not been stellar, to say the least. So they're the ones that's supposed to be investigating this attempted assassination on the former president. And that is just, in 9 days, nobody has anything to say about it. So, again, they're not telling us anything. Nobody has anything to say. Nobody knows what happened with the former president. So that is number 3. So we've got this debacle debate. We've got the media being on board. And now we have the former president being shot and nobody knows anything. Which, okay, Kim Cheadle does resign, but the FBI is still in charge of this investigation. Yes, I am not holding my breath for that one. Then we have Joe Biden drops out of the race through an X post. We see him in Nevada. He's bumbling around. He doesn't really have his whereabouts without him at all. And it is being reported that he is rushed back to the East Coast. He gets to, I believe, Delaware. And that's it. Poof, gone. Like a breeze in the day. He just like Joe Biden is like, where is he? Where is Joe? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh, another thing. And I would have to say, like, this was funny, but it's like one of these things where you're not supposed to laugh, but it was funny. He posted on X, "I'm sick." Okay, first of all, you need to fire whoever made that post because it's just pathetic. I'm sick. Really? That's your post? That's your post to let everybody know that you supposedly have COVID and you're not doing well and all of this stuff. It's just so bizarre to me. Like, none of this makes any sense. That all of these things happening consecutively, just day after day after day, that we are learning about all of these things that's going on with Biden. I just don't believe that it's by accident. So he has this subsequent post after he posts "I'm sick" that says, of Elon Musk and his rich buddies trying to buy this election. And if you agree, pitch in here. Now, this was on July 17th. Okay? It is Thursday. This was on July 17th. So this would be July 25th, which is actually my birthday. So happy birthday to me. So that was July 17th. July 21st, he says, "My fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as a party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." Okay. So this is how he lets the world know. We haven't had a press conference. We have not had him sitting in the, we haven't had a formal statement from him with video where we can actually see that he is, how well or not well he is doing. And the reason why I'm harping on this is because this is a national security problem. This is a we the people problem, because we need to know what is going on with our commander-in-chief, as much as we already know that, even if he can't, perform his duties, if he cannot perform his duties, we deserve to know this. We need to know these things. And I could picture his administration coming out and saying, "Oh, we didn't want to tell you because it was a national security issue." That is not good enough. That is not good enough. This is a major problem. We have way too many things happening, and I don't know. Okay, this is not in my notes. This is just, I'm just talking. I don't like the feeling that is happening right now. I feel like something is afoot. Like, there's just it's very uncomfortable. There are way too many things happening that won't be explained by the people who are supposed to be explaining things to the American people. There are way too many things happening with the Democrat Party. I feel like they are gearing up for something. We would call it an October surprise in election season, but something way before that. All of this flip-flopping. Joe's going to run. Now he's not going to run. Then we have Kamala, and, the money's frozen, and now she's, miraculously raised the most money ever in history, just like Joe Biden miraculously got more votes than Barack Obama. Just all of the stuff. It feels very uncomfortable. I don't like this feeling. I don't like that we are kind of being led. We're like being thrown from pillar to post to believe all of this nonsense and have nothing that we can do about it, but just sit back and just watch life happen to us. I'm not comfortable with sitting back and just letting life happen to us. Speaking of life happening to you and being prepared for things that, can happen to you, I want to talk to you about Prepper Bar. Having gold or silver bars and coins available is great for protecting your wealth. But if you need smaller chunks in a pinch, like, kind of like right now when you're in a bind and you're in a pinch, you'll need a pretty solid hacksaw, okay? That's why we're introducing PrepperBarNow.com, the disruptive new product that allows you to carry wealth in your wallet. These perforated gold or silver bars allow you to easily detach smaller denominations ranging from 1.5 grams up to 7.7 grams. PrepperBarNow.com isn't prepper food, okay? It's not prepper food. It's prepper wealth. Wealth protection in these crazy times. Talk about crazy times. And of course, we need to protect our wealth, not just for ourselves, but we need to think about our children as well. So go to prepperbarnow.com and have these innovative bars sent to your home today to keep in your safe or your wallet. Again, it's prepperbarnow.com. So moving on, Biden drops out. Kamala is taking on, she's a presumptive nominee. Now, I still don't think, y'all are going to think I'm crazy. I don't even think that Kamala's going to be the nominee. I know. Here's what I think. And I could be totally wrong. Like, again, this is just me thinking, but I just do not believe the things that they tell me on the news, especially coming from the left. I just don't believe it. So she accepts this nomination, or I'm sorry, she says she's going to be the nominee, and she does this speech. While she's doing this speech, she says she has a call. Joe Biden calls into where she's having this speech. Take a listen to this.
Go. This is a Fox News alert. President Biden called into Kamala Harris in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's listen.
Get so much more we're going to get done. And so I want to say hello to Kamala. If she can hear me, I know she's going to be speaking shortly. And I want to say to the team, embrace her. She's the best. I want to call today to thank everybody in this effort. I know yesterday's news was surprising and it's hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know how hard you've worked, how many sacrifices you made, and so many of you uprooted your lives for me, and the kind of commitment few people make for anything these days, but you made it. And I've been honored and humbled. I mean this is from the bottom of my heart. My word is a Biden, that for all you've done for me and my family. And we built the best campaign in organization in history. I've been doing this, I always kid and say, I know I'm only 40, but I've been around a long time. I don't know of a better campaign organization, grassroots campaign. You know, we have over 230 offices opened. We have over 2,000 paid staff. And we have literally several thousand volunteers on a regular basis, thousands of them. And they've been relentless and tireless in reaching out and contacting voters. The leadership of this campaign has been amazing. Jen O'Malley Dillon, Julie Quinn, Michael Tyler, Rob Flaherty, Rufus on raising money, and so many more. You built this team. You brought them together. You brought us together. You've inspired them. And you've done what leaders do. Now we got to, you know, the name has changed at the top of the ticket. But the mission hasn't changed at all. And by the way, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be out there in the campaign with her, with Kamala. I'm going to be working like hell, both as a sitting president, getting legislation passed, as well as in campaigning. You know, what we still need to save this democracy. And Trump is still a danger to the community. He's a danger to the nation. And just ask my foreign policy colleagues, my counterparts, and other people around the world and at home. Look, so I'm hoping you'll give every bit of your heart and soul that you gave to me to Kamala. And I want you to know, I won't be on the ticket, but I'm still going to be fully engaged. I've got 6 months left of my presidency. I'm determined to get as much done as I possibly can, both foreign policy and domestic policy. Keep lowering costs for families, continue to speak out on guns and child care, elder care, prescription drugs, and climate. Climate still is the existential threat that we face, and if we don't win this thing, it's all in jeopardy. And we got to keep working for an end to the war in Gaza. I'll be working very closely with the Israelis and with the Palestinians to try to work out how we can get the Gaza war to end and Middle East peace and get all those hostages home. I think we're on a verge of being able to do that. And we got to keep our alliances together. It's critically important. It took a while for me to build these alliances. Most of these my colleagues have acknowledged that, but it's critically important for our safety and security. And I know I'll be doing whatever Kamala wants me or needs me to do in addition. So let me be real clear. We're still fighting in this fight together. I'm not going anywhere. And I want you to know you've always had my back, and I promise you, I will always have your back. And I'm anxious for you all to hear from Kamala. So thank you, Julie. You're the best.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you. I'm sticking around. I'm going to listen.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. President, again, for taking time to join our call today. And, as the president said, we are full steam ahead in supporting the vice president, and we are seeing incredible enthusiasm already from our supporters.
So Biden calls in, and even the woman who is like, I guess on Kamala's team, who's listening to the speech, she looks like she doesn't even believe like anything that's happening. Like her face is just like, okay, like, ooh, I don't know. It's just weird. And then when Kamala comes up to speak, she actually misspeaks and says, "Oh, Joe, it's so happy to have you on the record. Oh, on the call. I didn't know you were still on the record." What was she going to say? Was she going to say, "Happy that you're recovering? Happy, I didn't know you were still on being recorded"? I don't know. I don't. At this point, anything is. We can like suspect anything. There's so many things have happened. We can literally suspect anything at this point. But I don't know. Do you find it weird? Do you find it weird that she is misspeaking at such a pivotal time? Everybody misspeaks. Maybe it's no big deal. So she makes her announcement that she's going to run. And then, of course, we have the black folks. We have the black folks, the Democrats, the black liberals who have to come in. And you can't really have a black male Democrat who doesn't cry. He's going to cry. Like, let's look at Bakari Sellers, who is just so caught up with emotion about Kamala Harris being the presumptive nominee.
I'm not sure people understand the pain or the suffering that goes along with being a black man in this country. I'm not sure people understand what it means to stay strong in the country. I'm not sure people understand what it means to have your back against the wall. But I'm staying with her because she's still with me. During my darkest moment, I almost lost my daughter. When I had to protect my life. When I had to fight for a black woman in the hospital. And so now it's my turn. And I really don't care what you all say about there's another black man crying or this or that or the third. Because every day I'm working hard to make sure that tomorrow's better than yesterday. And so donate, stand up to me. Because if we do not change the country we're living in, our daughters, our sons are going to have hell to pay. This is an amazing moment for our country. Let's protect Kamala. Let's be with her like she was there for us. And at the end of the day, we're going to disagree along this road. We're going to disagree about a lot. But let's put all that petty bickering aside. Let's just stop with all the petty BS. Let's stop with all the silos. Let's stop with this organization versus that organization, or this city versus that city. And let's stand up and be the black men that changed this country. We built this country. We built our communities. And now it's time for us to stand up again. So I'm rocking with Kamala. I love all of you all.
I don't know what Kamala did for Bakari, because he says, she was there for me like nobody else has ever been. But this is still a politician. I can't see where she has been that close with Bakari that he is going to be in full-blown tears for a woman who is going to be the presumptive Democrat nominee. Now, we have this a lot on the left where they are so overcome with emotion, not because of, you know, somebody's a hero or somebody, you know, they have done something, you know, incredible for our country, you know, like our veterans or anything like that. No, it's because she's black and a woman. That's all it takes to woo them. Oh my God, I'm just so overcome with emotion. A black person, it's like it's like you're in a, like you're looking at in a zoo or something. It's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen one. They've been talked about for so long. I can't even, it's a black woman doing something in America. Oh my God, it just brings me to tears. I never thought I'd see the day. Spare me. Spare me. These people are communists. They're communists. They don't care about your black this, your white that, your LGBTQ. They don't care about any of that. They want complete and total control. And they are using emotion to move you to their side. That's what it is. Because you cannot tell me that a grown man is this overcome with emotion because a black woman happens to you know, be running for president, which a lot of people are like, well, her mom's Indian, her dad's Jamaican and half Indian or something like that. Like they're saying she's not a black American. Like she has no roots. She was raised in Canada. She has no roots in this country. Okay, like let's just keep it all. Her parents don't have roots in this country. I mean, yes, she was raised here. Born here rather, but she was raised in Canada. So she doesn't, sorry, she doesn't even have, you know, where is all of this emotional, you know, she's not firmly grounded in American ideas, if you ask me. Like, I don't see anything that this woman has done that is stellar. I mean, if you ask some people, like maybe, let me not even go there. Maybe she's stellar in other areas, okay? Maybe she is just stellar in other areas that we aren't privy to see. I'll say that. There we go. Maybe she's just stellar in other areas. I don't know. You know, that's the word on the curb, though. Word on the curb is that, you know, she has other talents. But this whole thing of black men, and then you even have Roland Martin. Roland Martin is, you know, vote like a black woman. This obsession with what you look like on the outside, and because you have lady parts, you know, that you're supposed to just automatically be well equipped for a job. Even Kim Cheadle, the former director of the United States Secret Service, she was on a mission to get 30% of women into the Secret Service. It's like you cannot base your hiring of any position based on what somebody looks like on the outside. You cannot, like that is stupid. That is really dumb, because it doesn't tell you anything about what the person, what their capabilities are, what their merit is, what they can and cannot do. And I don't know about you, but if I am having surgery, God forbid I have to have some kind of surgery, I don't care about what the person looks like on the outside. I want to know that he or she is able to do the job. That's what I care about. But they want you to buy into this idea that, it's the outside. Remember, like when I was growing up, we used to say that don't judge a book by its cover. You know, that was the thing, because which implies that you're not falsely giving credit or lowering a standard or something by what the outside looks like. You got to dig in a little bit. You got to read the book before you can actually judge whether it's good or not. What happened to that? What happened to that? That was a good, righteous phrase a colloquialism that we would have in our society that actually helped people, ground people in what was real, not race and gender. gender's very real. I'm not saying that gender is not real. I'm saying that that's not the basis on which you should hire people. But leave it to people like Bakari Sellers, leave it to Kamala Harris, leave it to Roland Martins and the Joy Reids and all the other black folks on the left to make this thing about race. And here's my prediction. If Kamala is the nominee for the Democrat Party, brace yourself, because all we're going to talk about for the next, 4 months, 3 months, is race and politics. Every time Donald Trump opens up his mouth, it's going to be, he's not treating a black woman right. Every single time. Every time. How are we going to be able to accurately and rightly judge who is doing a good job if we have to be completely and totally judging them on what they look like and their lady parts or man parts or whatever parts? You know, we should want to judge people by what they can do. Can they do the job? But it's just going to be, it's going to be an absolute mess, because we're going to see the left all over again. You're not going to be able to criticize Kamala Harris, even if you are completely not racist, you are not sexist or anything like that. Everything will be summed up is the attacks on her is because she's black and a woman. That is unfair. It is unfair to this process. It is unfair to the American people. We should be able, that should not be included in how we judge candidates who are supposed to lead this country. And here's something that I would like to say, particularly to black Christians, okay? If you consider yourself a Christian and you happen to be black, if you are basing whether you are going to vote for this woman because she is black and a woman, I believe that you are out of line. You are out of line biblically. Because when the story is given about the talents, you know, the landowner in the Bible, he gives one man 10, one man 5, and one man 1 talent, which is money. And the man that got 10 doubled his, the man that got 5 doubled his, but the one who got 1 talent, he hid his talent, and he's like, oh, I know you're a hard taskmaster, so I just wanted to hide the one that I had. Notice there was no mention of what you look like on the outside. In fact, the Bible says that we are not to judge by the outside. Don't look at the outside of a man's appearance, but at the heart. At the heart. So that goes beyond color. So for all of you black Christians out there who think that you're about to, you know, do something great and wonderful and it's going to be historical and all of this stuff, I would ask you to go and see what your Bible says about you judging this woman by her appearance and not by a standard, a biblical standard at that, if you call yourself a Christian. But that is my prediction. I believe that if Kamala is the nominee, we are going to see, that's all that's going to be talked about, and that is unacceptable. We cannot go along with judging people by the outside of what they look like and expecting to have a good outcome. I mean, the same people will turn around and quote Martin Luther King, we're supposed to judge people by the content of their character, not the skin color, but then you go and judge them literally by their skin color. Like, pick a struggle. Pick a side. Make up your mind. Are you going to be, you know, judging them by their skin color, or aren't you? But if you do the DEI thing and you do the critical race theory thing, you have to judge them by their skin color, but that is the point. That's what they want you to do. So... if you saw Kim Cheadle's, in any parts of her testimony, don't worry, you didn't miss much, because she didn't offer any information that would help you further understand, or help the American people further understand what exactly happened on that day, on July 13th, where to allow a gunman, a 20-year-old gunman, to get that close to the former president and actually take a shot and shoot him. Thank God. I mean, it is literally a miracle that he survived. And I don't want to lose sight of this story. I know we've kind of gone on because there's so much news coming out all the time, but I do not want to lose sight of this story because this was a big deal. And what I did see in Congress, which I was glad to see, I did see some of, from the left and the right pressing her and not trying to let her off the hook and actually calling for her resignation, which today, 2 days ago, she gave. She actually gave her resignation. It was breaking news Tuesday morning that Kim Cheadle does actually go ahead and resign. I believe she got pressure from some Congress members to go ahead and resign, and as she should have, because what she failed. She failed. A president was shot on her behalf, and when she is asked directly by Congress members if Donald Trump had actually gotten shot, should she think that she should resign then? She had nothing to say. She could not even say, even if she had completely and utterly failed to the point where somebody died, which somebody did die, Corey Compatore and 2 other people injured. People died. The former president didn't die, but people did die. And this woman had the gall to sit up there and say, no, we're still investigating. I don't think that, I take full responsibility, but never coming to the point where saying she needs to resign. But if you are really taking full responsibility, then you would know that that is what you need to do, that you would need to resign. And so, I am happy that she resigned. I'm still curious on what's going to happen with this investigation because it still needs to be investigated, because this woman got on a news show, I think it was ABC, and she said that the reason why that they didn't put anybody on the roof of that building where that shooter shot former President Trump was because of its slope. I'm not kidding. That's what she said. Take a look.
Investigators now trying to determine whether roof access had been properly locked down. The shooter climbing up seemingly unimpeded, about 400 feet from the stage, with a direct line of sight on the former president.
Should that roof have been secure, period?
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
I don't even know how you can bring yourself to say something like that when we can see that the Secret Service that was actually on a roof was on a roof that had that was even more sloped than the roof that the gunman was on. Who are we hiring? This is why you can't hire people by what they look like. Because it is pure insanity. I'm not going to put somebody on a roof because of the slope, but then over here on an even more slope roof, I put men there. They're safe. That one wasn't. But it was safe enough for the gunman to position himself and take a shot at the former president. It's just unbelievable. Just totally unbelievable. So with Kim Cheadle being so incompetent and just not really willing to take responsibility, where she's saying I'm going to take responsibility but not actually taking responsibility, and allowing this young, obviously troubled 20-year-old to go and pull something like this off. I mean, I definitely think that there needs to be investigation. But speaking of young people and where they are right now and what's going on with them, Elon Musk just did an interview with Jordan Peterson, and what he reveals is really shocking. My heart goes out to him because as a mother myself, I can only imagine if my child came home and told me that they didn't feel like they were in the right body, and apparently his son Xavier, said that he did not believe that he was in the right body and is now transgender. And so during this this interview that he did with Jordan Peterson, he says, this is a quote, he said, "It's evil. You're taking kids who are far below the age of consent. It's very possible for adults to manipulate children who are having an actual identity crisis into believing that they are the wrong gender." He goes on to say, "Well, it happened to one of my older boys. I was essentially tricked. He was tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was really before I had any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, so there was a lot of confusion. And I was told Xavier might commit suicide." But check out what Elon, just watch this for yourself.
I see. So that's
so I was tricked into doing this, and it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. And we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
So apparently this was when Gavin Newsom came out that he was going to allow Californians to keep a child's sexual orientation or gender identity confidential from their own parents. Elon said that was a line. He's moving SpaceX to Texas, and he reveals this on the Jordan Peterson show. And it's just another peek into how insane the left can be. We were dealing with something similar in my city here, and where the school system was literally had in writing that they were going to be concealing the gender identity and LGBTQ and all the things away from parents. And I was one of the people that brought that on Fox News and said, hey, this is happening, and got the superintendent to take that stuff down and at least start to have these conversations here. But this is in California. So we're in Florida, where our governor, we don't play that. But this is in California. And could you imagine being a parent and not knowing what is going on with your child? Could you, I mean, and then having them give you that speech. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that speech that they give, these counselors and these, these mad scientists is like what I like to call them, but they will say, would you rather have a dead son or an alive daughter? And that little phrase right there has been the trick. That is the trick that Elon is talking about. That is the thing that is making parents make these decisions, that they think that they are acting on their child's best interest when they aren't, because they're looking to this supposed expert, the supposed person who knows the ins and outs of this thing, and instead of calling it what it is, that it is a mental disorder, that it should be treated like you would treat somebody who's going through anorexia, someone who looks in the mirror, and when they look in the mirror, they see a big body, they see a fat body. But when in reality, they're 89 pounds and 18 years old and 5'1" or 2. So what is in their head is not matching with reality. And that is exactly what is happening with these young kids. this whole gender ideology, this push for LGBTQ. I can't remember the stat perfectly, but I think it was at 25% now of kids are identifying as some part of the LGBTQ community. I mean, like, this is ridiculous. Again, we are trying to give credence and importance to things on the outside, what you look like, oh my body, like all of these superficial things. But what is going on your insides? What is going on in your mind? What drives somebody to climb on top of a building and take a shot at a former president? What drives young kids to want to literally completely mutilate their own bodies? This is a problem. This is sick. And we have legislators, governors who are sanctioning this stuff, who are literally going before the people that live in their state and saying, yes, this is okay. We are going to allow the state, because do not get it twisted, public schools are state schools. They are government schools. Okay? You are allowing the government to withhold information from you as a parent about your child that is detrimental to their health. I don't even care if, let's just say you were one of these parents who, I just want my children to be whatever they want to be, and if they want to be this or that. Don't you think that the government should tell you that that's what they're doing with your child? I mean, your children are not wards of the state. They're going to a public school, they're going to a government school, and they are literally taking over your child and telling you flat-footed, 10 toes down, I don't care what you say, yeah, we're not going to tell you what's going on with your child, even though you pay for us to be here, but we're not going to tell you what's going on with your own child. It's just unacceptable to me at this state. We have way too much information. We have way too much knowledge to continue pushing this lie onto millions of kids. This is ridiculous. It is unacceptable, and especially in the United States of America. But before we wrap up, I want to share with you this. Red Beach Nation. I am so proud to be a part of Red Voice Media, but Red Beach Nation provides conservative apparel and beachwear. Okay, who doesn't love beachwear? For freedom-loving Americans. I love this because we always talk about that parallel economy, and we need to be in every industry. We have seen what happens when conservatives, when Christians, when we back up from institutions, when we back up from culture, we see what happens when the parents leave the room. We can no longer let this happen. So whether you live at the beach or are traveling to one or just want to imagine yourself there, Red Beach's comfy, patriotic apparel is sure to lift your spirits. Founded by a former counterterrorism officer and war veteran of both the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, Red Beach Nation is committed to upholding the American values and principles that we all hold so dear. And the best part, the merchandise isn't going to get you in a fight or shout it down as you go about your day. Red Beach Nation is just pure Americana, not shirts that are designed to spark outrage. So come live the sand, surf, and freedom lifestyle with us. Head on over to redbeachnation.com and use promo code KING, K-I-N-G, to save 10% off of your order. Again, that's redbeachnation.com and use promo code KING to save 10% off of your order. Yes, go ahead on over there and get you some of that fashionable, patriotic beachwear. All right, y'all, bringing it on home. As we take a look at everything that's going on around us, I want you to draw nearer to the one who can truly give you hope. That is not a politician. That's not Donald Trump. It's not Kamala Harris. It's not Barack Obama. is not Joe Biden. It is our Lord and Savior. That is where your hope lies. This world will fling you to and fro and will make you feel like everything is just in utter chaos. And sometimes it does. But that's why we put our hope in Christ, because it is a solid rock on which we can stand. It is time tested. God is time tested, okay? He's the OG. He's the GOAT. He created this amazing, incredible universe that is steady, that does not fail. We know that the earth is going to rotate, and we will see, we call it the sunrise. We know we will see the sunrise and we will see the moon. These things are steadfast and they are unmovable and unshakable. And so that is where we can put our hope. We can put our hope in Christ. And like I say, in all that getting, get an understanding and get free. Get free, because whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And that is where true freedom is. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of The Quisha King Show. I will see you next time. I'm sure we will have so much more news and updates and all the things on these stories. So make sure you like, comment, share this video out, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit treasureandtrust.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com or call 855-625-7760.